Thank you very much for joining us up yet once again on our program, The Agent of Change. You are with your host, Darlington Taste. I'm so much excited that you have joined us up this day, as I am with a great host in the house, Mr. Valentine Kuzondishaya. Mr. VK, he is lion by heart. This man super amazes me with what he has achieved in his entrepreneurship journey. So just to give you a little bit about his background, Mr. Valentine Kuzondishaya is a father of 2 boys, Angel and Rain, married to his wife, Christabel, and he is the founder and CEO of Jungle Kings Energy Drink. And I want you to test that drink if you've never had it. Follow the link that is down below and test that drink, Jungle Kings. He is also the founder and director of Royal Touch Garage Car Body Works and Dealership. He's a motivational speaker, performance and business coach. He's a Zimbabwean who is based in Cape Town, South Africa. I've put up his links below as well for Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter that you can follow him. Mr. VK, I'm so much excited that you are here today.
I'm excited too, man. It's amazing. Feeling. I'm happy to be here.
Wow, look at you. Amazing. And the way you look. I like the touch.
Yeah, no, man.
Yes, and the Jungle Kings cap.
Yeah, always got to put the brand up front.
Wow, this is amazing, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Mr. VK. So who is VK?
Okay, so Valentine Kuzondishaya is a 28-year-old man. You know, business mogul, as some people would say. You know, I'm a guy who just fishes in the business world. That's me, all day, every day. You know, like what you're mentioning, as Zimbabwean, you know, I'm just a guy who thrived from not the best environment or the most supporting atmospheres. Lost my dad when I was 11, you know. And then started hustling from there, man. From 12 years old, I was in the streets selling and grinding.
At the age of 12?
12, yes. Even
Jesus started knowing, he became aware of himself at the age of 12. So at the age of 12, you already became lion by heart.
I was there. They say it's 7 months, a lion can kill a full-grown man.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think at 12 years old, I was killing it.
You started grinding.
I was grinding.
At the age of 12.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff, man. No wonder why you are where you are now. But what actually got you into business? Because I want to know that, being a Zimbabwean based in South Africa, what happened? Because how did you move from Zim, come here, and how did you get into business? Looking at the way that you are disadvantaged. And you also lost your dad at the age of 11. How was that to you? And I want to know, how did you shift into business?
So as they say, you know, in the biggest time of crisis, that's where there's the biggest opportunity. Losing my dad is one of the worst things that has happened in my life, but it opened a big opportunity for me. Why? It might sound bad, but when I lost my dad, that's when I got into business. Because I started looking at what can I sell. You know, I couldn't get a job at 12 years old. But I could sell something at 12 years old. So selling doesn't have to have, you don't have to have qualifications to sell. You just have to have something that people want. You know, of course, there are things that you need sell skills for, but we're selling something like fruit and veg is a common need for everybody. When you have it, people are going to buy it. So when I lost my dad, I started selling. So I started selling fruit and veg in the street. That's where I started. So after that, going to school now, because I'd sell after school hours, right? So a funny story, Mr. Darlington. There is a time that I was actually making a little bit more than my teachers at school.
Wow.
I'm telling you, because I got a fixed salary. You know, Zimbabwe situation. Maybe here I wouldn't, but in Zim, so now back and forth, school and business, I started loving the money more and the business world than the school world. Because I was asking myself, if I can make little or less more than my teacher, and they're here every single day of their life, telling me that you're going to be successful, but they ain't successful. So what are they doing here? So I started, to tell you the truth, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I started hating school from a young age. And I started loving the business world because I saw this you don't need school for. You just need the heart and the grind and you go make it.
The mindset.
Yeah. So that's what inspired me into business. When I just lost my dad, I was so thrilled by business. And after that, I never went back.
Wow.
It was business all along. I was just going to school for the uniform.
Well, it's the mindset, because you see, at the age of 11, if you start grinding, because you start exposing yourself, you know, into the marketplace, because at the age of 12, obviously there's going to be a mind shift right there. And you were not thinking like an ordinary other 12-year-old, you know, obviously then you now begin to think, okay, how do I provide for the family at the age of 12?
Yeah.
So obviously you are forced to get into hustling, and you want to put your product out there.
Yeah.
How do I market? How do I start branding at the age of 12?
Yes.
You know, I see, you know, I once heard you one time speaking about that, and I would like you to say something, because you spoke something about the education system, and you say something about the business world.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, you know, I always tell people I hate school, but I love education.
Why?
Those are two different things. See, I got a 4-year-old son right now, Angel. When he was 16 months, he was, you know, I'd say adopted. I don't know if that's the right word, but he was taken by Total Football Academy. I discovered that he loves soccer whenever I watched Chelsea play, right? And then he would get stuck on TV like there was no tomorrow. But when you put cartoon, he doesn't stay there. So from that age, I saw that that's what he likes, right? Now, if we're talking, let me clarify this in a simple way. If any child, if he is 3 years old, he's unlimited. His dreams are over the world. He's a Superman. He's a Batman, right? Ask him whatever he wants to do. He can tell you, I want to be this and that. 6 years old, still the same. Ask that same child when he's grade 4 or grade 5. He starts telling you, I want to be a doctor, a pilot, a scientist, or an engineer. Because he's now being channeled into the most paying jobs, not the most paying gifts.
Sure.
So as they grow, when they get, if you're in Zim, when they get to O level, they realize for these things, you have to be the most smartest person in the room. You know, 9 A's, 10 A's. They try that, they don't get it. Only maybe 1% gets those A's.
Yes.
The rest, when they go to A level, they take combinations, collections, not combinations. They just collect whatever they can. I'm doing arts, I'm doing sciences, you know, to just get through it. They're in college, they don't even know what the reason why they're there. They don't even know what they're doing. And now you look at the employment rate. Accountants that can be employed at 240,000 a year, for example. Accountants that are in school are 2.4 million. So where are the million people going? You see, the system is already bad. So I think school, like what Prince here said, school makes fish climb a tree.
Sure.
You take a fish, you make it try to climb a tree, it will spend the rest of its life, you know, thinking it's useless. I'm a lion. If you put me in water, you won't see the power that I possess. But if you put me where I'm supposed to be, you know, I can show you how powerful I am. So I believe people must educate these kids. Try to look at what they can do best. You are in the media industry. There are a lot of good camera people out there that could be doing cameras, but right now they're studying philosophy. They don't even know what is Sophie of the philo. You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
True. No, I'm totally amazed listening at what Mr. VK is saying right here.
Yeah.
And I think if you're listening, it's time for you to venture into your actual calling or into your actual purpose, because you can only step into abundance when you can discover those things that you are good at.
Thank you.
And I always say to people, what are the things that you were good at since childhood? And look at that and follow that path. What is it that you loved from the time that you were young? And we can see from the time of when you were younger, you were trading, you know, buying and selling. You know, you're already selling, buying and selling. You already had your goods on the marketplace. Amazing stuff. But what are the lessons that you can say that you learned from your childhood up to now, or the things that you wish you had known? Because it looks like you can write your own curriculum now that you can add on to the school curriculum, because it seems there are things that our children are not learning from school. And school wants us to think a certain way. You know, and there are certain things that they don't want us to know. And these are the things that we want our viewers to know. So what are the things that you wish you had known when you were younger, and that you want also the other other younger generation to know early, so that they can speed up the process of getting into entrepreneurship?
So the first thing that I learned when I was a child is always start now. That's the thing that I learned. Always start now. So I don't regret starting back when I started. Because it helped me channel the person I am today. Because the journey between here and here, you don't know what's in between. What's in between is experience that you face every day. So always start now. I enjoy that I started at 12. Because right now when I get in the marketplace, I'm like, I used to do this when I was 12. So nothing will, you know, will tear me down. The second thing I learned is it's never a bad idea to change your mind. It's never a bad idea. Great leaders change the mind. I love the Vikings. You know, I watched this movie Vikings. I love it so much. When they would be going in a certain way, if the waves are too much, they would still be somewhat going in the same way, but you can adjust the sail. But you're allowed to change your mind. If you don't land in Greece and land in England, do what's happening in England until you get to Greece. Wow. So I've seen a lot of people when they get on a certain path. Mr. Darlington, I've done a lot of businesses. They're stuck there. I'm not saying give up.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is the process between might not be the way you planned. So this might be a process to channel you to where you're going. But don't be afraid to change your mind. Don't be afraid. Don't give up, but you're allowed to change your mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you heard it. Start now. Start now. Don't wait until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Most of the people we fail because we procrastinate. And we are too late to start. Join us after the break as I continue to speak to VK. Thank you. Welcome back onto our next segment with Mr. VK. I want to look at any failures that you've had in business, or is there at any time that you have struggled in business? Because many people that are watching, we watch you as a very successful person in terms of business. When I look at your cool drink, that energy drink that you've had, Jungle Kings, and now I look at you, how busy you are in your shop, you know, a car body shop, and what you're doing, and it's extremely busy. So both ways you are excelling, and also with your motivational speaking, you know. And how, have you ever had any failures in life?
So basically, I've had a lot of failures. Countless.
Because no matter what happens, a lion does not eat grass.
Never.
Have you ever had any fails?
So I've never eaten grass, but I've come to a point where you can almost eat grass. So what I would say is, you know, entrepreneurs, okay, so firstly, if I'm to list failures, it's going to be very hard for me. Why? If you ask J.K. Rowling, you know, the book Harry Potter, she had about 7 of them turned down until the 8th one was accepted. That this is Harry Potter. When they took the 8th one, they took 7 of them with. You know, and then there was Harry Potter 1, Harry Potter 2, Harry Potter 3, you know, up until even Mark Zuckerberg said, before I made Facebook, there were a lot of applications and games that I tried before that. But when I made Facebook, I could actually take all these things and plug them into Facebook.
Wow.
So what I think is, failure is only when you give up. When you say it's over, that's when you fail.
Okay.
But as long as you're still going, these failures are collective features that will make the beautiful art at the end of the day.
So in other words, we are trying to define failure as your perception.
Exactly.
How you see it.
I would think that that's how I see it. So to list my failures, of course, there's some things that I've you know, I failed to meet some bills. There are some business ideas that did not go through. I'll give you an example. When I was in Zim, we tried to do events and product promotions. Not tried as such. We did events and product promotions. Got a contract with Chicken Inn, you know, ISCO, the whole Chicken Inn thingy. And then I did not have a contract with them. I said I had a contract, but I did not have a contract. I did this thing verbally. And then someone who was working there saw the opportunity and took it away from me. I was just a young guy like this, you see. So I failed because I did not have the right structure. I did not even really know how you're supposed to go into these waters. But right now, you know, the lessons that I took from there, I would think I learned more than I failed. So yeah, failure is there in business. It looks all glitz and glamour. You know, it looks all the beautiful cars and the nice whatever. But as an entrepreneur, Mr. Darlington, you and I know That
Yes.
it's a lot of times you don't meet your bills.
Yes.
It's a lot of time you're having people calling you, you know, you haven't paid me, I need this, I need this. The invoices that are on your desk, the texts,
Yes.
it's crazy.
It's a
But
lot.
at the end of the day, you know, we just push through,
Yeah.
But you can't really avoid failure.
Yeah,
It's
I can
part
say,
of the process.
there's a gentleman that I spoke to earlier on today, and he says to me, most of the times people look at the glory,
Yes.
but they don't know the story
They don't
behind
know.
the glory.
Yeah.
But if you hear one story and they have to tell you what they went through, when we look at that, which brings me to my next question, what are the systems that we can put up in place right now for someone to build a resilient business? Because obviously there are those people that have put businesses in place. And now post-COVID, a lot of things have happened. We've lost our loved ones. And now you come up now, many businesses have been closed. Many friends of mine have closed their businesses. But there are those that are opening even newer ones. And that are making it. What are some of the things that you can share in there to help some other entrepreneurs watching? So
the first thing that I would share is from my own mistakes. What I realized is I can cultivate a business, but I can't manage a business. That's one thing that I realized. I can cultivate an idea. I can think of an idea. You know, I can put things together. But the daily administration and management, I gotta leave it to someone else. That's, I think most of my, you know, my businesses or whatever, they will just end there. You have an amazing idea, things go well when now the administration starts to pile up, you know, the management, the system, and then everything starts to fall down. So the moment that I realized that, I cultivate the idea, I direct as the visionary, but I gotta have a good management system. I gotta have a good team. So I always tell my people, you don't need 20 people to be successful. You need 3 people that are willing to kill for a vision. So every time I get something in cars, like when I invested in that business, you know, the dealership and the new business. I got the best mechanic. I got the best panel beater, and I got the best administrator in that field. So they can take this vision up. For example, like how McDonald's happened. You know, the McDonald's brothers did not take McDonald's out there. There is someone that had an eye of what they can make McDonald's, you know, like. So I believe, number one, you must always have a good management system in place. Find yourself a team. It's better to give them some shares, man. If you don't have the money, sit with them down. I'll give you 10%, I'll give you 20%. I need your sweat equity for the next 6 months. I promise you, if you break even, I'll pay you, you know. So find yourself people that are willing to kill, people that believe in what you do. Because as long as you're alone, there is so much that you can accomplish. But with an extra number, you can do it. Lionel Messi might be the greatest footballer, but he can't, as much as Chelsea is playing bad right now, it's my team, I feel so bad, but he can't play Chelsea alone.
That's true.
He needs 9 or 10 more players, including a goalie. So you need a team. You need a team. That's what I'd say. The second thing that I'd say when you want to business is you need to learn. You need to explore. You know, there is information is power. I always say information changes situation. So for me to fly to, you know, wherever I fly, I've been on planes countless times, like I can't even imagine. But a few years back, I'd never been on a plane. I asked myself, the people that are on a plane, what do they know that I don't know? Where are they going that I've never gone? So I started looking at where are they going? Who do they know? Who are they connected to? I started connecting. I started knowing people. I started asking information. The more I did that, the more I explode. So it doesn't matter you know your industry. Keep exposing yourself. Keep meeting with new people. Connect with like minds. And I'll say if you hang around with millionaires, well, you're going to be a millionaire. You hang around with billionaires, you're going to be a billionaire. Les Brown says you hang around with 6 broke people, you're the 7th one. You know, so always try to be around the people that are successful, and there is no limit.
Hey, awesome. I like what you said earlier on, and you said that you need to have the right team. So you look at your strengths. And when you put the right team together,
you put your weaknesses.
My mentor always says that it is teamwork that makes the dream to work. So it is your team that's going to make those things to happen. And it is awesome for you to share such things with us, you know. But I also want to know, with that in mind, to say, if you were to go back and you look at your life, are there any things that you feel that you could have done differently to what you're doing today? You know, that you can say, you know what, if I had known this 10 years ago, I was going to be doing this differently from the way that I did it 10 years ago. Because obviously now I've gained some certain knowledge. You know, that's the reason why we need mentors.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can get back to and you say, if I had known this 10 years ago, you know, my life could be here?
So what I would have known 10 years ago, man, is the word value.
Sure.
The word value. If I knew the word value and its meaning 10 years ago,
that's a bar there.
my guy, I would have been, I don't know, billions maybe. I'm telling you. Because one of my mentors set me down a couple of years back, which is not 10 years ago, right? Like you said, 10 years ago.
Yes.
So he set me down, he said, VK, how much do you think you're worth? You know, I could not answer that question. I said, I don't know how much I think I'm worth. Then he said, I'm not talking about your gross income. I'm talking about your net worth. Anything you make after your expenses.
Yes.
I say, man, I live in expenses life. Everything that I spend comes down back to my expense. Then there's a video that he played for me. So Eric Thomas, one of the best motivational speakers, his mentor was speaking to him. So he asked Eric Thomas, how much do you charge? Eric Thomas said, I charge 10,000, right, for a gig.
Okay.
He said, okay, you charge 10,000. Then he said, yeah, nobody in my family makes $120,000 a year. I'm making it. I'm big. Then the mentor was like, next week I want you to charge 20,000.
Okay.
He went back, he started charging 20,000. He came back 6 months later. He said, how's the 20 thing going? He said, it's going great. People are buying it. He said, that's the problem. If people are buying it, then it's for everyone. Charge 100,000.
Okay.
He went to charge 100,000. He said, how many people are coming? He said, I got 4 people. Well, you used to make 100,000 a year. Now you make 400,000 in a month with 4 people.
Sure.
Then he said, now charge 200,000. Then he said, no one is going to buy 200,000. He said, then you allow them to negotiate. Why? Because every day your value must appreciate.
Okay.
You know, every day. I'm into cars. Vintage cars have more money than cars of today. You know, I don't know how I can put this, but as long as you know what you're worth, and you know that your worth keeps multiplying by day. But the question is, do you make it multiply? That's the question. I always say with my wife, when we meet someone, if I meet you, Mr. Darlington, you have a perspective that you have according to how I sold myself to you. So it's up to me to increase that value. Before this interview, you told me you're sponsoring a certain somebody for a certain something. You're increasing your value to them so that they'll know how much you're worth and they don't want to lose you. So if I'd known value, man, from a long time ago, I'd have been a certain stage because everything is value. Money is value. If you have an iPhone, you exchange an iPhone for certain money, but you exchange a Huawei for a certain amount of money. You know, I always tell people, there's a guy who came to my workshop. So we serviced this car, right? And then we are about to do the oil. It's his new car. This guy bought a little Ford Icon, new car. I'm like, okay. He actually bought it from me. And then we were servicing it. And then he was like, how much does the oil cost? I said, it's about 350 rands. He said, what? I said, 350 rands. He said, ah, man, that's too much. I said, why? He said, there's a guy I was with at the garage in his car. He bought oil for 40 rand. I said, that's a pint. For service, you need a 5 liter. 5 liter. That's 350. So right when I was with them, I had taken a quotation because I wanted to do service for my car. Master Parts called me. They told me your gearbox oil is 2,000. Your engine oil is 1,000 rands. Because my car is about 9,000 to 10,000 rands for service, you see. So I'm standing with him. He's like, I'm going to go buy oil right now. I'm like, this is the difference of value. You know, I bought this expensive. It's expensive to maintain, but that's according to my status. If this guy understands value, so value appreciates with what you have and what you have in time. If I learned that 10 years ago, I'd be somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And if you are listening, I hope really you got that nugget. Value. What value can you bring onto the table?
Thank you.
Do you know we have employees, we've got people that are looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
But then they are looking for an opportunity instead of looking at the value they can add onto a business. You see, because if you look at it from that perspective and you've got value and people begin to look for you for the value that you can bring in. Now, Mr. VK, I want you to look into that camera. In 60 seconds, encourage somebody. You know, you are lion by heart. I don't know in 60 seconds what you can tell somebody in that camera directly and you look at them into the eye,
Yeah.
challenge somebody that is watching us right now in the audience and that has never ever thought of coming out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
They are looking at themselves, they're saying, no, I'm from the townships, I'm an African, I can never make it. But I do believe that you can make it because look at you now.
Yeah.
You come from a disadvantaged family, you never got a loan,
Yeah.
you never got a grant from somebody,
No.
you didn't get a gift from America.
No.
But here you are today because you have made your way through.
Yeah.
And I do believe that we can get Egypt out of our minds.
Thank you.
You know, because we may be in that particular place,
But
but we need to see beyond
Yeah.
borders.
Yeah.
So if you can say out something in 1 minute.
Okay, so what I can say is, as long as you're still alive, you haven't seen your best yet. As long as you're still living and as long as you're still breathing, there is more that can happen in your life. But it only takes you to understand that and you to push to excel. So one thing that I need to tell you is nothing happens deliberately. It's got to be intentional and focused effort. So everything that you do is going to have an intention. A lot of people think you can just dream something and it happens. You can just wake up and things happen. It doesn't happen like that. You have to push towards your goals. You have to give it everything you have. You have to fight against, norms and societies. There are people that told me you cannot have properties at 28, you cannot drive nice at 28, you cannot take care of your mom at 28. That's the other thing. You got to have your why. My mom was the reason that I grind and is still the reason why I push beyond everything, because she was there for me and right now I gotta be there for you. So money doesn't motivate me. I've got a breathing why. Someone whom I look at and I say, I gotta go. Right now I got 2 kids. Whenever I look at them, I'm like, this kid's gonna have the nicest life. They're gonna have everything that they want. So look at someone whom you love and make that person your daily motivation. When they take a taxi, say, I'm gonna fight so that they drive. When they're renting, say, I'm going to fight that they own a house. Whenever you look at that person, they'll give you enough reason to keep pushing and going forward. So never give up. Give everything you have. And know that as long as you're still alive, you're still yet to see your best. Peace.
Big up to the lion.
Yeah,
Salute,
man.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, that's exciting, yeah.
You motivate me. You
Yeah.
are my inspiration.
Wow.
I follow you and
Yeah.
I'm so much inspired by the kind of life and I'm inspired by who you are becoming.
Yeah.
Because when I look at you every day, you are becoming.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
not become.
Yeah,
You are
I'm
becoming.
Thank
So
you.
every day you are
Yeah.
a new person.
Yeah.
You add value every day.
Yeah.
So if somebody meets you today, they meet you 6 months later, you've added value. So
Yeah.
that's why I say you are becoming.
Wow.
Because you are not what you were 6 months ago when
Yeah.
you were sitting in the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
place.
same place, yeah.
And a year ago, 2 years ago, we were the same place, but
Yeah.
you are not the same.
Yeah.
So I am so much inspired by your kind of life. But
Yeah.
thank you for taking opportunity to
No,
come
thank
through
you
to
for
our
having me.
studios
Yeah.
and to have this show and that you could be part of this and inspire somebody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Till next time. Bye.